Okay, and here are some extra questions for you concerning demographics. So, Jeremy, if I could ask you first, um, another factor affecting elderly people is the physical distance between family members. How important do you think this is?
I think it's actually incredibly important because as you get older, you need the support of your family. And whether it's when there's an emergency or more just on a daily, maybe not daily basis, but like you need someone maybe just to visit you, to for support, for company, maybe just to clean the house a bit, something that's maybe a bit physically demanding as you get older. So if your family is sort of 3 hours away, well then you can't ask them to come. And so I think it's incredibly important that families, especially as they get as their one of their members gets older, that maybe you reduce the distances a little bit.
Yes, that's true. And also, I believe that having your relatives, especially when you're old, having your relatives like nearby gives you some kind of a like a psychological comfort because then you have this impression that you're being supported by someone. You have your relative close, so they can support you. However, looking at this from the other side, nowadays, as the technology is developing, we have phone calls, we have video calls. So this psychological factor, it might not be that important anymore because an elderly person can always call their relatives if they want to talk. But the thing you've mentioned, so this physical support, like I'm doing some grocery even,
Yeah,
or helping to clean the house, or going like inviting
yeah.
your relatives for dinner, that is important. And I believe it's good for an elderly person to have their relatives living nearby.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. And question number two is immigration is the answer to Poland's demographic problems, according to some people. Could you please discuss it?
Yes, I think I could start. So, the Poland demographic problems, the main problem is that we have an aging society. So there are not enough, there's not enough young people to work, basically. And there is a possibility that in a few years' time we could face this problem, that we have like a lot of elderly people and not enough young adults to work for them to support the like just make the economy work properly. And I believe that immigration could help to some extent because it would involve some young skilled workers from in other countries to come to Poland. And I believe that these people um, what they want is to increase their standard of life, their incomes, so they will be motivated to work hard
Yeah.
to support Polish economy. And I believe this could help with this economic gap.
Yeah, and I think what you said about the skilled workers, that it's not just a case of just like opening doors and saying, okay, anybody in the entire world who wants to come can come. We would maybe need targeted immigration where we say, okay, we need some engineers, we need software people. I don't know what different sectors of the economy.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of people in the world who've got these skills who would really help the Polish economy. And also then they would come with their families and children, and it would improve the future sort of tax-paying potential
True.
of the country. Because like you said, there's a problem where we're going to have more people who need pensions and sort of medical care than actually people paying tax.
That's true.
So we need some immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe you're right.
Mhm. Okay, and my question number three, in what ways can people be encouraged to have children?
What do you think about that?
Um, I think it's a very controversial
Oh,
topic
it
because
is.
it's like sort of the mixture of like the nanny state on one side and sort of social engineering on the other. Um, I think that it's not as simple as giving just a financial incentive because I think when people make those decisions, they also look at the sort of the family bonds.
Yeah.
Going back to our first question about the sort of the distances between different members of the family. I think that makes it, whether you've got the grandparents there to help you or not. So in terms of encouragement, I guess, well, obviously childcare, yes, we need facilities for that. Obviously, maternity and paternity leave. I think nowadays it's accepted that we need good paternity leave as well as maternity leave.
That's true.
I don't know, what else could we do to encourage them?
There are benefits, like social benefits, obviously, but I don't believe it is a very good solution because it's like short term.
Yeah.
And it doesn't secure the children's future, actually, and it can also um, result in parents being somehow lazy and maybe even like not responsible when it's raising their children. So I believe the best way, like overall in the long run, is to invest in, as you've just mentioned it, facilities and infrastructure. So, for example, education. I believe that if we have a society which can provide children with a fantastic level of education,
Yeah.
like primary and secondary, and fantastic universities, maybe also cheap, like accessible education, that would show potential parents that hey, if we had children, they would receive fantastic education. They would have this great kickstart
Yeah.
in terms of future life. Like, just create a safe, supportive environments.
Exactly. I mean,
for children.
although I don't know how many parents are going to be thinking so far ahead, but I agree. It's giving this facility.
Good parents
Yeah.
will probably.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much for your answer.